Well, siesta Stalin just announced $12 billion in socialist welfare checks for racists. And the reason I say they're racist is there's absolutely zero conceivable reasons that a farmer would vote for Suck Me Off Saddam a second time unless hating brown people was more important to them than their family farm. In fact, there is zero reason for any living farmer to have ever voted Republican because Republicans have been fucking them over since the 70s. But I guess the resulting genetic uniformity that happens when your parents grew up on the same farm must hurt long-term memory retention. So maybe there's some justification to give these dumb motherfuckers a pass on forgetting how many of them lost their family farms under Reagan, how many of their fathers, brothers, and cousins, which likely could have been the same person, took their own lives when their livelihood was ripped out from under them. But you know, that was 40 years ago. Who can be expected to remember back that far? But you know what wasn't 40 years ago? Bankruptcy Benito's first term, where his trade war and tariffs shot farm bankruptcies up to record highs. And all the welfare checks he handed out to these farmers who apparently would rather just sit there on the government teat than actually work for a fucking living. Because they voted for that in mass 2 more fucking times. And here we go again. $27 billion in agricultural economic loss the first time around has nearly doubled to what will be an estimated $45 billion in economic loss this year alone. Farm bankruptcies again are rising to record highs. A bushel of soybeans is down $5 from what it was under Biden. Costs are still going through the roof. Most inputs are higher than they've ever been. And what's Alzheimer Adolf's solution this time? Oh, right. The same fucking thing he did last time, you fucking goldfish. $45 billion in economic loss to the agricultural sector that will only continue to grow year over year because these markets are not coming back now. You know, because that little trade war that was so easy to win pissed off our trade partners and they went and found other people to trade with. But sure, a one-time $12 billion payment should fix that problem right up. If at first your incredibly stupid plan doesn't work that everybody told you wouldn't work, just continue doing the same stupid plan over and over and over again. It doesn't really matter as long as you get to continue hating brown people. But hey, I'm sure just knowing that ICE is getting to indiscriminately throw brown people into concentration camps will be all the comfort you need to get through the foreclosure auction of your farm. Look, we're at a crossroads in our country for many, many reasons, but the farm crisis is at the crux of it. And if our agricultural system collapses, our country collapses. And it has been collapsing for decades, but we are on the precipice of total collapse with it right now. And look, this really sucks for me to have to make these types of videos because I live in a farming community. Many of these people are my people. I don't like to see this happening to my neighbors and it hits close to home, but the reality is that 99% of these people do not deserve a bailout, nor do they need one. What we need is antitrust enforcement to break up big agricultural companies and their lobbies. What we need is an agricultural system that encourages farmers to grow a diversity of crops and food that we can eat here and not a bunch of soybeans and corn that we ship overseas. What we need is strong, stable, congressionally protected trade markets that can't be nuked by the dementia-riddled whims of an imbecile who could bankrupt a casino. What we need is the people who live in places that look like this to start voting for the people who will institute the policies that will protect our livelihoods out here. And stop voting for the people who are purposely instituting policy to bankrupt you. Also, their soft-handed billionaire owners can buy up your land, turn it into factory farms that will poison your community, and monopolize the very food industry that feeds us all, forcing us to be beholden to our oligarch overlords if we want to eat. And despite you guys having no idea what communism is, but bitching about it constantly, that Soviet-era idea of communism you have in your simple little heads that isn't actually communism is exactly what we are heading to if we don't fucking fix this now. Because when a handful of billionaire oligarchs get to decide what we get to eat and who gets to eat it, then they get to decide everything else for us too, and the decisions they're gonna make are not gonna be ones we like. Do better, guys. Start demanding more from your representatives right now and vote them the fuck out in 2026 if they have ever supported any of these asinine policies that are ruining rural America. It's not that fucking hard.